On any of these, all right? I put on a couple pounds, all right? It happens. And if any man says it doesn't happen, they lie. Ta-da! What we have here is failure to communicate. Oh my gosh. I gotta step up on my crate because, you know, not everybody's tall like him. Okay, well. So, some things you're gonna need to do this job on the 6.7 liter Cummins diesel. To drain the oil, obviously, you're gonna need a drain pan that holds at least 12.5 quarts of oil. Yeah, you don't need any of those. Some hand tools that I'm using is the 1/2-inch drive ratchet for the fuel filter reservoir. This is an 8mm socket for the yes, that thing.
Wow.
Fender, well, skirt. That's the one. Anyway, moving on. And you'll need a 3/8 drive ratchet to take out the drain plug for the oil. Now, I don't use a filter wrench or filter socket because we believe in having muscle. So I just use my hands. So what we gotta do first to change the oil and fuel filter on the 6.7 Cummins diesel. First, this is optional. First, I like to take the fender well skirt out. Makes it easier to get to the fuel filter because you have to unscrew it from the bottom. And I want to say there's eight 8mm screws holding the fender well on. Some people take the wheel off, but that's a lot of work. So if you're doing this job and you're going to take the fender skirt out, make sure you take the ABS sensor tab off, or else you'll rip your ABS wire. Which is what I'm trying not to do by pulling it out. So now that we have this off, put that to the side. If you look down in here, now we can see our fuel filter reservoir here and the bolt for it's on the bottom. You have to disconnect the water sensor here. This is your valve to drain it, which you see it has a little nice hose on it to drain the fuel out of it and not make a mess everywhere. So the water sensor has a little tab on it that you have to depress to get it off. So as you can see here, disconnect the water sensor, just kind of tuck that away from the drain valve, and then we will get the pan, the drain pan, to drain the diesel out of the fuel filter. So we've already removed our water sensor on the bottom of the fuel filter reservoir, so now we need to open up the drain valve, and it's this little white piece here. This one already has a hose attached to it. A lot of them will not have a hose attached, which I don't like. Hey, will you do me a favor?
Sure.
Will you just make sure it's going in the pan underneath?
Yes, sir.
So we're gonna wait for this to drain, and then once it's drained, we'll take our half-inch drive ratchet and attach it to the bottom of the fuel filter housing and take it off, remove it in the meantime. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and break the fuel filter reservoir loose here. As you can see, I've got my half-inch drive ratchet connected to the bottom. Just got to get it to where you can loosen it by hand. There's going to be still some diesel fuel in here, so just be prepared for it to drain out. So this is the fuel filter reservoir. I just kind of cleaned it up, cleaned out the inside a little bit. It didn't have to be perfect. So we've got a Wix filter. There's the part number there. And if you guys want like a full parts list, I can get that, and just shoot me a message in the inbox. Very important that when you go to buy one of these, you check the box, make sure it has a new O-ring in it. So this is obviously the top. Just gonna set that to the side for now, because we need to put our new O-ring on. And again, I like to do the same thing with these O-rings. Just get like a little bit of the leftover diesel fuel that's inside of the reservoir, and just kind of lube it up just a little bit. So then we need to pull the old one off. Hey Warren, would you toss me a rag? Any of them, it doesn't matter. Oh. Put the new O-ring on. You're gonna have to stretch it a little bit. Shouldn't have to be stretched that much. So top of the fuel filter again. There's inside the reservoir. Just gonna put it down in there. And bam. I'm gonna go ahead and reinstall the fuel filter reservoir and the fuel filter. It's pretty simple. It's basically just like you took it off in reverse order. You want to get it started by hand first, and then you can get your half-inch drive ratchet and finish tightening it. Again, it doesn't need to be tightened over tightened. All right, so we got it tightened down. Now we need to make sure our drain valve is tight, and then we need to hook our water sensor back up. So both of those are installed. So now there are different opinions on whether or not to prime the fuel system. I believe in priming the fuel system because I don't want to deal with an airlocked diesel that won't start. So we're going to put some of these tools away and then we're going to start. So to prime the fuel system, what I've been told is to turn the key on to the on position, and you should hear the fuel pumping. You probably won't be able to hear it, but it'll sound like a buzzing noise. And so what we're going to do is wait about 20 seconds. And we're going to turn the key on, off, sorry. And we're going to do that 4 times. So there's 1. All right, now that we've done that, the system should be primed, so we'll go ahead and try and fire it up. Sometimes it'll die. It'll start up and then it'll die. Don't freak out. Just turn the key off, wait about 10 seconds, and then turn the key back on. Let it prime again, and then it should start. It could just be like a little air bubble in the system, but so far looks good. We're going to turn it off now and go ahead and check our engine oil. So, since we're working underneath the vehicle, safety is paramount. So, we're going to wear safety glasses. And as you can see, all around here, it is a Dodge diesel, so there are plenty of leaks to go around. But what we're going to be working on is the oil pan. We're going to drain the oil. You need your 3/8 inch ratchet. I use a little 2-inch extension and break that loose. Grab the pan and wait for some really clean looking oil to come out. And now. Pretty clean, huh? So now we're going to go ahead and get out from underneath the vehicle and let this drain. So as you can see here, we have something that is very essential to the channel, the Curbside. We're going to go ahead and drain our oil, we're going to clean our drain plug with some brake cleaner. So this is the front of the truck. To locate the oil filter, it's on the passenger side, right behind the AC compressor there. So as you can see, oil filter wrenches are amazing. We decided to go ahead and use an oil filter wrench, and as you can see, we went ahead and removed the fender skirt. But now, as you can see, we finally got it broke loose after 3 of us have tried. I was the one that broke it loose, by the way. And there is oil in it, just in case you're wondering, so don't let it fall on you or spill on you. You want to try and keep it upright all the way until you get to the pan. Alright, so we finally got the oil filter off, so now we're going to pre-fill the new one. It takes probably like a quart or 2. You'll see it fill up. Just let it drain back down into the filter. A 1,000 years later. Don't forget the safety glasses as well. I think after this, project, I might invest into an oil filter wrench. Because Jake won't let me have his. He said it's only good on a Ford. Alright, that's all the oil I'm going to put in it. It's about 1.5 quarts. Make sure you take a little bit of the oil and just go around the O-ring here to lube it up. And also, it's very important that you pay attention to your old oil filter and make sure when you take it off, the O-ring came with it and didn't stay on, because if you double seal it, it's not going to seal. So now we're going to put the filter back on it. All right, I got her. Can you reach there? And importantly, not to over tighten it, because that makes it for whoever goes to change the oil next time. Makes it much easier on them. So something that is important to remember before you put the new oil in the engine is the drain plug. Take your 3/8 drive ratchet with your 2-inch extension. Just tight enough to where it's not gonna leak. So we're gonna put the Rotella T4 triple protection 1540 engine oil in it. I don't really have a preference. This is what I've always used. So get our funnel, fill hole, pour the oil. Don't make a mess. Takes a little over 12 quarts, so we've already put 2 of them in there. This is the 3rd one. All right, oil cap. Want to tighten her up. Did you guys know this was a Dodge Cummins? By the way, if not, you look at the valve cover right there, you'll know it's a 6.7 liter turbo diesel, don't forget. So anyway, now what we're gonna do is check the oil, make sure you got some oil in there. You always want to check it more than once, because that could just be oil on there from the last time you checked it. So you clean it off. You want to visually see that there's oil on there. Clean as a whistle too. So we got the engine oil in. The oil's good. The fuel filter's good. So that is how you change the oil on a 6.7 Cummins turbo diesel. And if you like this video, like down below, and please subscribe to the channel. And until next time.